Hey guys, it's Bradu back for some Terra Invictus action. So last session we did the carousing. Abbott got himself in more trouble at the bar. Oh, I did have a thought for how that went about. What did I? I know what it was. One of my characters had a Orgo. Orgo, his his carousing role. I was confused at the time. It was like, but best arrival in a game or something by trick talent or by trickery, and I was like, oh, that would be talent. He's not really the type to be tricky or whatever. And then you gain an NPC ally who's impressed or enemy who's pissed that you tricked him. So anyway, I resolved that, and it makes sense now in the grand scheme of things because Abbott got in a fight. So I don't I don't have all the details, but in my head, Orgo was playing something, let's say cards. Renariel was part of it too. Renariel is more likely to be tricky, I don't know, like doing sleight of hand with the cards to deal Orgo good cards, and Orgo might not have even known. Something like that. So Orgo wins a big hand. I'm thinking about this on the fly, but I kind of had this idea. Uh, Orgo wins a big hand. The guy doesn't like it, accuses him of cheating. Orgo's not cheating, but Renario is. Orgo doesn't know about it. Abbott sticks up for Orgo, gets in a brawl. Renario gets involved too because he was the one cheating. So both Abbott and Renario get kicked out for fighting. Orgo doesn't end up fighting because the other two kind of jump in for him. And I haven't resolved who the NPC enemy is, but that takes care of the story of the carousing and how it all came to be. And maybe Abbott got in big trouble, got cut off for the night, but didn't get kicked out permanently because he didn't start the fight. He was just defending his buddy, and because he just donated the dolphin. And so I feel like that would have more pull than a barroom fight. I also had a thought about this. I laughed pretty hard when he got the same result of getting kicked out of the bar after I had done this big thing about making good with the offering the dolphin and promising it'll never happen again, and then it happens that same night. What's actually really cool about that is the character is based on UFC fighter Tank Abbott, and he is most known for barroom brawling. He is absolutely known for getting in drunken bar fights. So it's so fitting that it's just like poetic. I couldn't have scripted it better, and it came from random die rolls. So in that sense, I love. That's one of the things I love about solo play is when it turns out so perfect like that and comes together for a story that you maybe even didn't even think to do that way, and yet it makes perfect sense. So anyway, that was just a cool aside. Regarding Abbott, I don't know how I'm going to go about his constitution. So for now, I need to change his sheet and take away some of his constitution. He's down 2 points of con. Does he lose a hit point for that? Would he so he would go down to 12, which is still a +1. He did go up a level, but the constitution bonus doesn't happen on level ups. It only happens for hit points at the start. So I don't know that it would affect his actual hit points, but it would affect constitution things in the future. And for now, it would also affect his armor class, because I'm just going to write -2 permanent. But we may resolve that at some point. I just don't have an idea yet. I did the rolls for that I think that was on the video where it's not necessarily 100% permanent. It may be reversible, but I don't know how yet. So I just have that in the back of my head. I also did some rolls in town, just kind of shopping. I was trying to find a way to deal with monsters that have resistance to non-magic weapons or silver weapons. So like the vampire spawn was tough to wound because we didn't have silver weapons. So I was like, we got to get some silver weapons. I decided should cost 50 gold pieces to silver a weapon. So the first thing I tried to resolve was, is there anyone in town that can silver a weapon for those prices, like a blacksmith that's that talented or whatever? And that was a no. Um, so then I thought, well, geez, can we even find any silver weapons in town, like silver dagger or just whatever, so we at least have it on hand? That was also a no. But the first one was a no, but. And so for the but, I rolled some prompts and came up with pursue danger, which to me that means in asking around and maybe talking to the local blacksmith, he knows of a blacksmith who does silver weapons, but it's a dangerous journey to get there. So I don't know where that will be yet, but that might be one of our quests soon. It shouldn't be something super dangerous because we're talking about silver weapons. It's the bare minimum step up from a normal weapon, not even to magic. So for all I know, we find magic weapons before we even get there. But it should be a journey we take soon. It might be like our next quest after this session, is kind of what I'm thinking. And one other thought that came into my head a few episodes ago, we sold a mithril shield to be able to afford carousing, to be able to level up our group. Before we found Abbott and Thane. We sold a mithril shield, but mithril shield is like a normal shield but lighter. Thane now is missing a hand, and I was trying to brainstorm ways that he can still be good and functional. And I was thinking a lighter shield, if he can't grab onto it, maybe it can be modified and adjusted to fit, to be strapped to his nub of an arm and still be functional as a shield. So I'm gonna rule on that I'm gonna roll for it. I honestly want to just say yes, but I feel like I should use the oracle, and I feel like it's also a clever enough and logical enough solution that I should just say yes. But I feel like I should roll on the oracle to not cheat, and also because there's a potential twist I see coming. So I'm going to roll at advantage. Can he use the mithril shield to its full capabilities to give the same bonus as a regular shield and not be a hindrance since he doesn't have a hand on that arm? And we have a very strong yes, but the odd means a but, and that to me that but it's going to have to be adjusted to specifically for him. It's going to have some adjustment put on it to stay on to be strapped onto his arm without needing to be gripped, essentially. So I'm just going to call that. I think we sold it for 40 gold pieces. I think I probably would have paid 60 for it. I think we're going to have to pay 80. I think we're going to have to pay double what we sold it for to get it back modified for him. So the mithril shield will cost us 80 gold pieces. So I'm not going to get that yet. Thane, on that note, has not a pilgrimage, but a vision quest that was part of his carousing. He's got to go on a vision quest and fast for only one. Is it 1 day or 1+1? So short term, so that's good. But I do think that means, well, with a roll of 1, maybe he can still join us. Do we just wait? I was going to say he goes on this quest and doesn't join us in this dungeon, and we're without him. But a roll of a 1 kind of makes me think we would just wait around for him for a day, because we need to at least rest anyway in town. We'll wait. I just thought of one other thing too that I haven't done in a long time. There's rumors in each town, and I don't think I've done any rumors here for Mirecourt. Maybe I have, but let's spend 2 gold to roll a rumor and see what happens. Maybe we have. Giant beetles have been stealing crops from farms and escaping underground. Giant beetles. Potential quest. Stealing crops. Okay. And we're going to an underground dungeon. For what it's worth. So for this session, what we're going to do is go back to the palace. I don't know how I'm not going to try and find the page. Go back to the palace, and where there were stairs going up, we went up and did the 3 floors. But I'm going to say there was also a way that we noticed that we could go further down. But we saved that for last. I have no idea what. We just did. So I don't know why I moved all my guys, because I'm putting them right back. And we're going to leave Thane out of this. Thane went on his vision quest. So we're doing this the day after he leaves. I'm not gonna role play his quest. I'm not gonna send him out on a 1-day journey by himself. That seems like a death sentence. So let's do this dungeon. So they come in. The first thing is a hallway with a door here, door here. As before, we're just pretending these are doors. I picked this map. I think it's kind of cool. It's got a flip side too, but I'll show it as we go, as we explore. But it looks like dungeon-y. It looks like it would be a basement-y, like maybe at one point part of a palace, but even more in shambles and ruins than the main structure. So I thought it was a neat map for it. So let's roll on this. Well, let's roll for this hallway first as if it's a room. Okay, so this is a D20 roll. One other note I was going to make. This is just something I'm going to adjust for my personal style of play. You heard me mumble a little bit about hazards and traps, and we just keep hitting them. So I'm going to change, because they're pretty much the same to me, hazard and trap. I'm going to change the 3-4 hazard to be a monster. 5-6 will be a hazard or trap. So anyway, now I'm going to roll a 5 or a 6. 2. Empty. Okay, that's fine. I'm not even going to bother with the dungeon dressing table. The hallway where we come in is just empty. We've got a room here. These both open up to the same room. So we're going to check this room. And remember, I'm just assuming that I'm checking for traps and that we're listening at the door, so that if there's anything that would be noticeably audible, we will hear that. But I don't know what's in the room yet to make that check. Like, I can't roll and go, oh yeah, we hear something, and then roll and find out the room is empty. That's silly. So anyway, this next room will be, the big room, will be 18. That's good, right? Monster Mob. I'll use my own Monster Mob table. Unless I get a duplicate, then I'll use his. So for Monster Mob, I have a D20. Oh, fun. Okay. Okay, so in this room, we encounter 2 mushroom folk. That's kind of fun. So, what are mushroom folk? And first of all, probably a reaction. They're not, to me, that doesn't scream automatic enemy the way that some of these do. Distance, well, they're right there. We come into the room and they're right there in front of us. No hiding, no whatever. Activity, what are they doing? Building, nesting, sure. So they're just busy. They're moving around, I guess. What's their reaction going to be when they see us come in? Don't think I'm going to do any charisma mod on this, but, oh, hostile. I'll be darned. Had I done a charisma mod, we would have been into suspicious. But hostile. I guess it is a fight. Unless it says something really specific about them that they wouldn't do that. Spongy, elongated bodies, toadstools on their heads. Hey, those minis are just perfect for it, aren't they? But I do guess. Blinded in bright light. Now, we did light a torch. So maybe that's what it is. They don't like our light. And so they immediately attack. And we would be ready for an attack, I think. So I'm not going to give anybody sort of advantage or anything like that. They rolled a 16. That's going to beat us. Unless they have... Well, they go down 2. They're a 15. And I think we go up 2. I'm going to call that a tie. I think... I haven't really ironed out how am I using my highest dex to roll for the whole group, Renariel, who's way back here? That seems kind of not very fair. But Abbott, who's right up front, would be a dex 2, so that would make sense to use that. So that would put us at 15-15. So I'm just going to re-roll it and see what happens. On that note, we win. But they do act aggressively, so we're going to fight. So Abbott will go first, and when he sees this guy with some sort of weapon getting ready to come at him, Abbott beats him to the punch and charges him. And he will go with his great axe. Sorry, buddy, I didn't necessarily mean to do this. They're not wimpy. 18 is a nice solid hit, potentially, though he does like to roll ones for his damage, doesn't he? 9! That's much better. That's much better. Should have started a new page for this, but that's okay. And that was the tall one. We'll have Nura. We'll have Nura go next and slide in here and use her bow. She has a longbow now. First shot at a longbow for Nura. She still sucks at shooting it, but her damage is going to be much better if she can hit. 11 plus 1 is 12. They are 13, of course. Good try, Nura. I feel like I should have a more clever solution here, but I kind of am okay with just fighting since they just clearly were hostile right from the get-go. Orgo. I feel like Orgo should take that one. But I also am dumb if I don't try to kill one. So he'll slide right in there and try to attack the one that's already been damaged. 3. Definitely not. Renariel is going to do something a little bit tricky. He's going to go... He sees that there's a door over here. So he's going to take his shot from where he's at the tall guy. 10 might hit. Does he have a plus 3? He does. D6. Plus 4 on his crossbow. Just a 1. Darn it. And then he's going to slink back into the hallway and try to come over here for a hide next turn. So he can't go the whole way. He gets like there. But I'll make my hide roll next time to see if he is successful in getting off his sneak attack for that. And Krell, I think, should probably use his magic missile here. Oops. We're all new on spells. Like we're all rested up. So Krell, magic missile. 12-19. That's 2 positives, so that definitely works. And we're going to shoot them both at this guy, because we got to get him out of here. 1, 2, 3. Good. That was what I needed, right? No! Still alive? He's still alive. I misjudged. So they're going to be thoroughly pissed, and everybody's gone. They don't seem to have any special ability, but they have 2 attacks, which isn't awesome for us. So we'll go, since Abbott's up here, he'll attack Abbott. And he's a plus 2. Abbott's a 14. Needs 12s. 12 hits and 11 misses. 12 hits for 1d6. Abbott takes 4 damage right off the bat. And the other one will do his 2 attacks on Orgo, who I think has a 15. 16 now. Oh, that's right. He got an armor upgrade. Crit miss. So this littler guy is just not as fearless as the big guy. And he gets off 1 feeble attack and misses so poorly that he doesn't even bother trying another one. And we're up again. Let's get some damage done here. Let's try and take this big guy out. I'm going to go with Orgo first. Do you guys think, and I'm just going to do it, this is how I've always done it, side initiative, and then they can go in whatever order. But do you think once I do the order for a turn, I should keep that order for the rest of the combat? Like, should Abbott go first because I had him go first? I'm not going to, but it's a question. Abbott, 8. He's still a +5, so that's actually a hit. That's nice, because probably shouldn't be. And for only 2 damage, but 2 is all we needed, thankfully. So Abbott takes down this guy. Does this guy then does a morale check right now, correct? And he fails his morale. And I'm going to say that in failing his morale check, it says they speak mentally with creatures telepathically. So I'm going to say he questions in our mind, in Abbott's mind, because Abbott attacked first, and Abbott also did the killing blow. Like, why did you attack us? And Abbott will be confused and say, wait, like, we didn't attack, you guys attacked us. Like, he was coming at me with his weapon drawn, I had to fight. And so we're going to call this, like, he's not going to run, but we're also not going to kill him. We're going to call this a truce. We didn't really want to do this fight. We were defending ourselves. I guess I still do a treasure check here. That's true, right? And that's a 4, 5, 6 is they have treasure. 6, yes. Nice. And that is a percentage roll. Ooh, 95. Ooh, this brings up a good point for me. I was looking at the treasure charts for both in the book and the GM companion, or is it the player's companion, which I've been using. And I realized, in my estimation, there's kind of too few magic items. So I'm gonna see what it is that is 95 on. We've been using Chubby Funster's treasure, so I'm gonna check there. But if it's not a magic item, if it's just a gold piece item, I might use whatever the heck I wrote down for my own thing, because I did write something down. I'd have to find it. But let's see. Let's do this. Okay, so we got a magic potion, and it says roll a random benefit and curse. So I'm going to use the red die as the curse, and the purple die that's ours is going to be the benefit. Potion. It's kind of weird to have it do 2 things, isn't it? Instantly restores HP by 1d4. Okay. Instantly restores HP. I'll have to look that up when I go to use it. And the other thing, the curse is 18. For 7 days, the drinker must submerge hourly as if amphibian. Weird. Hourly. Um, all right. So we have a magic potion. That's kind of neat. Would I know initially what it does? So I like to leave this uh, up to the intelligence of the caster of the group, kind of thing. So to me, Krell would take a quick look at this. I would generally do this like in 5e. I would do this during a short rest, but we don't have short rests in Shadowdark. So he's going to check out this potion, and I'll make it a potion. I think should be an easy check. So a 9. So unless he rolls really low, he's gonna have it. So he knows what this does. So he's like, okay, well, we want to drink this only if we are in a pinch for hit points and really need hit points. So, and I'll roll the hit point thing at the time of use. I don't think he would know how powerful it is based on that, because it was kind of a weird chart. Like if I roll a d4, and if I roll a 1, then I roll a d4 again, and that's how many hit points. But if I roll a 4, then I'd roll a d10, and that's how many hit points. So it's kind of a little funky. I'll have to remember that when I go to use it. So we are going to continue on, I think. We're going to apologize for killing this guy. I'm going to try something just for fun, just to be good-natured. I'm going to try to use Nura's healing to heal 1 hit point, as if this guy was on a death timer, which they normally a monster or NPC wouldn't be. But I'm willing to risk my salve for this. And she's been rolling terrible for that. So it's a 1. Is there any really bad thing that happens if you roll a nat 1? Like, it's not like a spell. So she tries. Oops, sorry about that. We're going to continue on then. So this guy lost his dad or buddy or whatever, big brother. Mushroom mate, something. So let's see. I think our obvious, should this be a different room? I don't think so. But this is like rubbly stuff that's big enough that I'm going to treat it as a separate room here. So what's on the other side of this rubble? And Ariel, get up here. He didn't have to fight after that. Sneak attack. Okay, this room is a empty. Well, that's boring. That's okay. I'm going to treat it, on that note, I'm going to treat it as 2 separate rooms. So we crawl over the rubble, which does 2 things. One, it slows us down enough that we're going to make a random encounter check, which I think we probably are supposed to do by now anyway, especially since I took some time with the potion. And 2, this is then going to be a new room. A little side thing, like, there's not really a door because now we're kind of cave type, but we're going to call that a second room. And it's going to be 10. Ooh. Gosh, again, rival crawlers. Am I going to build out a whole... Before I build out a whole rival crawler group, I'm going to find out a couple minor details. So let's figure, like, how rival are they? Does rival crawlers assume that that means we're fighting them? Possibly, but not necessarily 100%. So let me look at that real quick. All right, so as for our rival crawlers who are hiding out in this little... Let's check the map for a second. I'm going to approach it a little bit backwards. Does that go into this huge room? It actually does. See where the binding is. So that is a separate room. So rival crawlers. This might be... Okay. So that's actually... I'm going to keep that open because now we came to this huge spot. I'm going to approach this a little bit backwards, and we're going to find out before we roll each individual character of this group. I'm going to find out a few little details that's going to give me a pretty good hint how they're going to respond. So first of all, their alignment, and that's a real big one, right? A 1 is lawful. If we hit that, we're not going to fight them. A 4 to 6 is chaotic. That means it's highly likely we fight them. 3 is neutral, so it could be either or. Okay, so that's fine.